What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chaotic Minds. As always, it is me, Winged,
And the midget.
and
Or permanently exhausted pigeon.
yeah, there's that. I don't know if you saw, but
J.
the cover art, I guess,
Our thumbnail.
has changed and been updated. And I will
It's
fully
very
admit,
nice.
I will fully admit, I used AI art to do that.
Hey,
I did not.
you
I
do
am
not draw.
Yeah, I'm not an artist.
You have zero talent when it comes to drawing. You could draw a stick figure, and somebody would ask, what the fuck is that?
I can draw those really far away birds. You know,
The
the
V?
swoopy V's. Yeah, that's about as far as I can do. I'm more.
Don't let
of
him lie to you. He's decent for him.
No, I'm not. I will not lie to you. I am not an artist. I do not draw. I cannot draw. I can draw one eyeball, a singular eyeball.
Because if he tries to draw the other one, it's like, hey, you guys.
I can draw the faraway little bird floaty V things. That's it. I am more an art. Like I am more.
You're more lyrical and
poetic
art.
Yes.
Yes, I know.
Written art.
Written arts.
Speaking of writers, there's. I wanted to give y'all an update on what's going on with the writers' strike.
Thank you for intelligent people.
No.
I'm talking about you, fool.
Oh. Anyways, so everyone who's listening, buckle up. This one's a bit of a doozy.
And we apologize in advance. We've got toddlers in the house today, so if you hear screaming, please don't mind.
So the update is the Screen Actors Guild has authorized a strike. That's part one of said update. Franz Dresner went off on the higher up in the powers that be and was like, you guys are bringing in billions and giving raises to your CEOs and your, boards and all of these people.
You're bringing in all this profit
but
and not spreading the wealth.
You're whining and saying that we can't afford to pay our screen actors any money any more than what they're making. How dare you? And it is hysterical because growing up,
the nanny.
That is the only.
That's the only way I can hear her.
Fran Dresner.
Fran Drescher.
Yeah, she's been in numerous things, and I know this. I've just never seen any of it. The only thing that I've ever seen was bits and pieces of The Nanny.
I have, but it's just
mom,
like I can't get into it.
Couldn't stand her voice, to be completely honest, back then. Granted, it's not high, how she speaks isn't really high pitched, and she was in character.
Yeah.
But, like, I remember
I've seen her in a few
up.
things, and I'm just like, I can't get into it because I've always seen her as the nanny.
Yeah, like I've seen. Well,
it's part of that nostalgia.
Ever since I found out that she was the president of SAG, I went ahead and I was like, okay, let me see what all she's been in, and I've taken time to go back, go through some of the stuff and see what all she's been in, and I've watched some of the stuff that she's been in. I can't name anything off the top of my head right now because I'm half awake.
Sorry, not sorry.
But some of the stuff that she's been in is fantastic. And I can understand why she got so pissed.
Yeah.
When it comes to that. Because, like, she has a point. And here's the fucked up thing. Here is the fucked up thing.
It goes back to the same conversation we've had before.
This is the fucking reason. This right here, me getting pissed off, I am not going to mince my words, and I am going to cuss. This is the fucking reason we have the explicit little blip on our podcast. The fucked up thing.
Parental discretion is advised.
Is what the executives have stated, and I don't know if it was like it was leaked or if they actually came out here and actually fucking said this shit. Here's what they are planning for both SAG and the Writers Guild.
Okay.
They are planning on going ahead and waiting until October to return back to the negotiation table to wait out these fucking guilds so that way they have more power over the negotiation because by October, most of the screen actors and most of the writers aren't going to have their fucking homes. They are waiting out these people so that way they are homeless, they are broke, and they have nothing. So that way they can go ahead and come to the negotiations table and say, hey, y'all want to get fucking paid? Agree to what we say. Otherwise, y'all are going to stay homeless, stay broke, and have nothing. They are waiting this shit out. That's their plan. Are you fucking kidding me?
Save your money, guys. Because guess what? Come to my house. I'll feed you.
Adam from Adam Ruins Everything. He's part of Dropout, which was College Humor.
Yeah.
Went ahead and tweeted this out. And he's like, look, we are raising because of this bullshit. And this is how I heard about this. And then I went ahead and I looked into it, and holy shit, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
He went ahead and he was tweeted out a video from the front line saying, you know what, this is what their fucking plan is. They tried to keep this shit hidden. I'm not allowing it to stay hidden. I'm putting it on blast.
Adam ruins everything.
We are accepting donations and accepting support and we're building up these funds and putting it aside for when this does happen, if it does happen, because of this fucking shit. And I'm paraphrasing the hell, and I apologize, Adam, if I am butchering and paraphrasing, but this is the only way that I can say it because I am pissed right now at this bullshit.
Yeah, it's like it's the same thing, and it's on a different I'm gonna say money scale. It's on a different societal level of money. As the same thing as strikes in grocery stores. They wait them out as long as possible so that they agree to the lowest percentage of a raise.
And I get that. Like, as a business, from a business point, I can understand you want to get the best deals. You don't want to lose money.
But you don't destroy people's lives.
Exactly. These people give you the ability to make the money. Without these people, you ain't gonna make shit.
It's like those companies that fire all those people that have been there for decades and hire cheaper, newer workers.
You're gonna be hemorrhaging money because of rent, because of contracts that you're supposed to be fulfilling being unfulfilled, therefore breaching the contract of all of these other places. You're hemorrhaging money hand over fist, all because you don't want to lose any of your money. That's what it boils down to.
Exactly.
They don't want to lose what they consider their money.
They don't want to take it out of their pockets, and
they don't want to take it. They don't want to lose. They don't want to have any money coming out of their wallet. So they're willing to go ahead and starve out people and wait for people to become homeless.
Cool. I got a brilliant idea. Why don't the Screen Actors Guild and the Writers Guild get together and create their own business? Guarantee you those guys will become crawling back in 6 months when they lose their homes.
Well, I'm pretty sure that is something that is being
talked
about
my point.
By some people. Whether or not it's actually going to come to fruition,
it should. It's
really
like it's like those labor unions that break off and branch off into their own little sect. That is like, no, we're not playing by the same fucking rules.
Here's the
Fuck
thing.
you and the horse you rode in on.
Here's the thing with that: between the actors and the writers, they have everything they need to create any show, to create anything. The only thing that they don't have,
they have the money too.
Is the space? No, the actors have the money.
Yeah.
If I'm pretty sure some of the writers are like, hey, I'm gonna, just on the off chance I don't get this, that they go ahead and they take what they can and shove it into a savings account.
Guarantee they do. But the thing is
the thing that they don't have is they don't have space and they don't have the equipment.
They have each other's backs, though.
There is that.
That's the biggest thing.
Like if they can talk to somebody and get equipment or get a location or get whatever, they can. I'm pretty sure they can go ahead and and make make a company that treats people fairly. But the fact that these higher ups
These corporate stooges.
are fucking doing this, and I don't even want to. I am so irritated and so pissed off that I don't even because I don't remember what the anagram for their higher ups and the people that they're striking against. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I am
Douchebags.
so pissed off. I don't even want to look it up. I don't want to mention it because
It's giving them
it's giving
screen
them.
time.
However, what I will say is I probably should, so that way, we can make sure that we hold these fucks accountable.
Yeah, but the thing is we don't want to mention names.
I'm not
Positions.
mentioning any names.
Because those douchebags do not need any more.
I'm not mentioning any names.
Like, seriously, how can you have a company that is meant for entertaining the masses and you treat your workers, whether they be the writers or the screen actors or the voice actors or however you look at it, how are you going to treat them like garbage knowing damn well that they're the ones that make your business? How the hell are you going to piss off an entire group of people to where they're like, I ain't doing shit for you until you fix your fucking attitude?
So this is coming straight from the article from Deadline that I am referring to. It's saying receiving positive feedback from Wall Street since the WGA went on strike May 2nd, Warner Brothers Discovery, Apple, Netflix, Amazon, Disney, Paramount, and others have become determined to quote unquote break the WGA, as one studio exec blatantly put it. To do so, the studios and the AMPTP believe that by October, most writers will be running out of money after 5 months on the picket lines and with no work. The end game, this is another quote from a studio executive, the end game is to allow things to drag on until union members start losing their apartments and losing their houses. And acknowledging the cold as ice approach, several other sources reiterated the statement.
They're icing them out.
One insider called it a cruel but necessary evil. Are you fucking kidding me?
Do you remember the term from football, icing the kicker?
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know
yeah.
that. But some of the best things. This is something that it literally. I am looking at it right now. Dispatches from the picket lines. Timothy Oliphant, Sean Astin, Allison Janney, and Michelle Hurd are among thousands on day one of the SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, after a strike.
Yeah, let's see. Timothy Oliphant, badass. Sean Astin, badass. Like,
I think it's Sean Austin.
It's Astin, Sean Astin. I had a huge crush on him when I was growing up. It's Sean Astin. Trust me on that.
I'm trying to remember because I'm horrible with faces and names, and you know this. Is that Samwise?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
I was like, how the hell do you not know that?
I am horrible with faces and names. He's the same guy from Toy Soldiers,
Goonies,
which is a fantastic movie. Goonies, which I try to block out because that movie
too many renditions of it.
51st Dates and all and that.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Oliphant starred Justified.
Timothy Oliphant's fucking badass. I don't care what he's in.
Was he in Punish or Daredevil as Bullseye? No, he wasn't that. I'm trying to remember what he was. Because I know.
Give me a second, because I have.
Justified. He's a badass actor, and he is like the characters that he portrays. He portrays very, very well. But like, you have these bigger name people now that are like, nah, bruh. We're standing with these, and the fact that these fucks
He plays the dad or the husband in Santa Clarita Diet with
Haven't seen it.
Drew Barrymore.
I'm not.
Fucking
I'm
great.
not like I don't do like like I'm not a real big zombie
He's
movie person.
in Deadwood.
Haven't seen that.
He's in Scream 2, which
I'm not a horror movie person.
Live Free or Die Hard.
I know that.
Yeah.
I believe he's the big bad of that movie.
Catch and Release. Gone in 60 Seconds.
Gone in 60 Seconds. Who was he in Gone in 60 Seconds? Was he the big bad on that one too?
He was I believe he was one of the cops.
The detectives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Other ones. Rango. The cartoon.
Yeah, who was he
movie.
in that? Was he the snake?
I think so. Go. Hitman.
Yes. That is Hitman. A lot of people shitted on Hitman. I fucking loved that movie.
Dreamcatcher. He's the one that pees in the snow and says, the shit weasels.
Yep.
He got his dick ate by the shit weasels.
No, he got his ass ate out by the shit weasels.
No. His
Yeah.
dick. Because
No.
it jumped out and
no.
and
No.
chomped on it.
Nay.
I've seen that movie 100 billion times.
Nay.
Trust me on that.
I'm pretty sure he was the one who was chewing on the toothpicks. No, you're right. Sorry, never mind.
Trust me, I have seen that movie way too many times. Yeah,
anyways.
like he's in a lot of really good fucking movies and shows, and
But
it's
the
just
fact
like
that these fucking studio execs are like doing this shit, like fucking really?
I cannot wait. And this is a terrible thing, but Karma's a bitch.
Oh yeah.
Karma is a finicky fucking bitch.
Oh yeah.
She is going to find them and ass rape them so hard. And I cannot wait to see the looks on their faces because they get fucked in the long run because ain't nobody gonna fucking want to work with them.
Yeah, no. Like nobody's gonna like people.
Not a fucking person.
This is gonna end up causing them money.
Costing them more money than they would if they would have given them a raise. I know.
And
it makes no fucking sense.
I hope to God that some of these people grow a conscience.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I can pinpoint the exact fucks who caused this. Fuck these people in particular.
And just so anybody knows, their karma is pronounced ha ha. Because they will get what's coming to them. And if they continue on this foolish path, it's going to come back to bite them in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody's going to want to work with them. Their shit's going to go downhill. It's going to cost them more money in the long run to fucking put it off and get a better deal than it is if they were to just shut the fuck up, listen to what these people are telling them about their working conditions, their living conditions, the fact that they can't afford fucking pot to piss in or the window to throw it out of. And if they would have just listened and paid them what they're worth instead of being fucking douchebags that think they need 6 month vacations twice a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about you give up one of your vacation homes? That'll pay for it.
Yeah. So let's move past this.
Yeah, because we're both getting pretty heated.
Temperaments are starting to
heated
highly, and having me be pissed off. I mean, we already kind of have a segment, wings rants.
Yeah.
We don't need a midget rant.
We don't need a sleep deprived midget rant.
We don't need a sleep deprived and therefore shorter temper, Golden Glove trained midget rant because I don't feel like patching holes in our walls.
2 of our walls are concrete.
Wooden walls give. I don't need you to break your hand again.
Faces give, refrigerators don't. Let's find those execs.
To break your hand again. Because you got to remember, you've already broken your hand on another concrete wall.
Actually, both of them.
So.
Anyway.
Anyways, we are going to shift gears and shift directions to a more nostalgic feel. Well,
yeah.
One nostalgic and one more homey.
Yes.
Homey. I don't know if that's the word I want to use, but one topic that's a little more nostalgic and one that's a little more like home felt. So these are both brought up by you and your ideas. So in this instance, I'm going to take off my host hat and host shoes, and I'm going to kick back and allow you to direct these next these topics here.
You're not wearing a hat and you're not wearing shoes.
Well, anymore. I'm not. I took my sneakers off.
Anyway, I remember the nostalgia one, but I'm sleep deprived, so I forgot what else I was going to talk about. Don't judge me.
You remember the nostalgic one, but not the home felt one?
Oh, yeah,
There
never
you
mind.
go. See?
He teed it up, but I almost missed it again.
Anyways, you get to control these ones.
So the reason I wanted to talk about nostalgia and different things with nostalgia is because,
Which, to be honest, we've done that a lot.
I was watching a video on Facebook earlier while I was cooking dinner. Tacos, by the way. And
Not Tuesday.
yeah, it's Friday, I think.
Yes.
But, it was on the Try channel, and the Try guys were doing had this group of kids in. They were maybe 13, 12, maybe 14, 15 years old. Bunch of kids in. And they were trying snacks and foods and candies from the 80s. And I'm like, oh my God.
Now we're talking like 80s and 90s or just the 80s?
80s.
Okay.
And there was...
I don't remember a lot of the 80s.
Yeah, because you were born in the last 2 years of it.
Yeah.
Like a year and a half of it, actually.
Yeah.
No, Razzles.
No idea.
You don't remember that candy?
No.
You should look it up. It's the one that turns... It's the one that turns to gum, I believe.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was one of them. The old school Lunchables. Like, doesn't have any cookies, doesn't have any candy. Just had the crackers, the cheese, and the meat.
Okay.
Push Pop Lollipops.
I remember those.
They're still around.
Yeah.
And some of the kids were like, how does this work? And then they're like, oh. Like... And
was Ring Pops more 80s or was that 90s?
90s.
Okay.
That was more early to mid 90s.
Okay.
And then, let's see, what else did they have? Something that I've been craving off and on for like months, and I have been so tired and working so much that I kind of spaced until they popped on there. Toaster strudels.
So,
I completely spaced that those things came out in the 80s.
Toaster strudels, when I was growing up, was too expensive. We would get Pop-Tarts.
We used to go to the store with $2, come home with 3 bags of chips, 2 sodas, and $2. So...
Well, my parents didn't do that.
No, I used to...
Which led me... when I was younger, to partake in the 5-finger discountery.
So
my big thing was I stole books.
Myself and the mother of a child that we have over this weekend have known each other since I was 3.
Okay.
We used to do it a lot.
Yeah.
We used to partake in the 5-finger discount with whatever the hell we felt like that day. Like, she'd grab a couple of things and I'd be on the other side grabbing a couple of drinks, or vice versa, or whatever. And
but we're not talking about thievery. We're talking about reminiscing on snacks.
So, do you remember when Snickers had their regular size candy bars, but they were in half?
No.
So
yes, that was here recently.
So yeah,
yes.
they had those, except for they had it kind of like peanut butter cups. They had it in the ultra king size. You had like 4 full Snickers bars,
oh Jesus,
and they were in half, so it made 8. It's like 8 fun size. Half a Snickers bar is a fun size Snickers bar, but that's beside the point. Like, I remember things like that growing up. Like, or do you remember Push-Ups ice cream? The Flintstones
Yeah,
on the
I remember
side,
those.
the orange
Are
creamsicle.
those from the Are those from the 80s?
Yeah, those are from the 80s.
Holy shit.
The fact that you're eating ice cream out of a toilet paper tube didn't bother you.
Yeah. Well, toilet paper tube that was waxed and it had a stick.
Plastic stick.
Yeah.
Those are still around, and it's
Kind of.
no, they still are. They're still big, and but yeah, it's like all these snacks that I had when I was little, and you had when you were little. Like, they're making huge comebacks now, and it's crazy.
Well, it's because
all of us are
Nostal-
becoming
no.
parents and grandparents.
no.
Ugh.
What it is nostalgia makes things circle back around.
Yeah.
Like, take clothes from, like, the Roaring 20s, right?
Oh my
Like
God,
the
flapper
dresses
dresses.
and all that. A couple years ago, what was the big thing? What type of party was the big thing to do and to dress up as?
The Roaring 20s. It was like the Great Gatsby era.
The Great Gatsby.
Mm-hmm.
You went to a party for your work.
I was supposed to go to a party for my work.
Yep. And you had lined up a
I
Roaring 20s.
I had the flapper dress, got my nails done, got my makeup done, got my hair done. Then Nikki got into a fucking car accident.
Did you?
Yep. She wrecked that old ugly ass fucking van, the creeper van.
Because that was
She got hit in the ass end of that van, and then I ended up watching the kids, and she ended up going to the doctor. She waited like 2 hours after she got home, and then she decided to go to the doctor, knowing that I had that event coming up.
Anyway, but like it's just like Swatch
Yeah.
making a comeback. The old school calculator.
At least
watches.
it's not from Croatia.
Yeah. The old school calculator watches. Same thing. Nostalgia makes things turn. So like stuff that you grew up with, and I kind of grew up with back when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, "Oh, hey, do you remember this?" And then telling their kids about it.
And then sales spiking.
And going ahead and like they buy their kids like, "Hey, you should try this. This is what it was like when I was your age." The kids try it and they get really interested in it. And then eventually it's going to fall off. And then years down the road, it's going to...
One of the things that's never fell off is fucking Lunchables.
Sorry, rinse and repeat. It's going to rinse and repeat. Lunchables
have never really fallen off.
Yes and
They're
no.
a good snack size.
No. Here's the thing. I will say yes and no. Because growing up, I remember asking for Lunchables. And, you know, they had, like, a lot of them. Like, they had sandwiches, they had pizza, they had, you know, hamburgers. They had a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
And then...
Some of the less popular flavors.
Like when I was in elementary school, there was that. And then once I got to like middle school, high school, I'd walk by the same section, see the same, like I'd go and see the same, like go buy it and see, hey, Lunchables. And it was like half, a third of what it was when I was younger.
The flavor selection dwindled down, yes, but the popularity of Lunchables themselves did not.
Not necessarily. Because where I grew up, like not a lot of people, like when I was in elementary school, lots of kids had Lunchables, and then like there were still kids that were like ripping Capri Suns apart, you know, that I was going to like middle school with, and I was like, hey, you know, let's go grab some Lunchables, and they're like, nah.
Yeah.
You know, so, like, Lunchables do fall off. Like, everything...
Here, it never really did. Like, I grew up here in Colorado. Like...
I do forget that every once in a while. I'm not from here.
And, like, that was one of those things that, like, before extracurricular activities on a Saturday, when you're hanging out with your friends, the old school latchkey kids, that you're like... Your curfew is the street lamp, and if you were lucky, you had a cooler outside. that had ice in it, that had maybe waters or Sprite or some form of soda
Capri
or
Suns.
drinks, like Capri Suns, juices, the little jug juices. That's another nostalgia point.
I had those. I remember drinking those. The Kool-Aid Jammers.
Kool-Aid Jammers too.
Mm.
But like,
Well, Kool-Aid Jammers were 90s, 2000s.
yeah.
But
But it's just like, if you were lucky, you had that type of stuff in there, and then
if you weren't lucky, you had a hose.
yeah, that you
And
had
if you
to,
were really unlucky, you didn't even have a hose. You just had an outside spigot.
yeah, those were fun. The ones you had to pump.
No, I'm talking like you rotate it, but you didn't. You had to drink it straight from the spigot.
Yeah.
I'm not talking the wells. I'm talking they're attached to the house. You attach the hose to it. But if you didn't have a hose,
Mhm.
you drank straight from the spigot.
Yep.
You know,
But-
but like, yeah, I
And like I said, if you're really lucky, you had Lunchables in there, because otherwise you got a whistle and a plate that got sat out on the porch with a bunch of sandwiches on it, because you know your kids are going to bring their friends over and you're hanging out and whatever, so you might as well make an entire loaf's worth of sandwich or 2 loaves worth of sandwiches so that everybody had a little something to eat.
Yep.
And you'd go from house to house and it'd be that way all over.
Well,
But the thing
house to
is-
house with the people who had kids.
That's what I'm saying. It's like house to house with all your friends, and by the time it ended, you were full. But like I said, if you're really lucky, you got here. You got that cooler with all those drinks in it, and then you might have a couple of Lunchables in there. But if you were unlucky with those Lunchables, they were the nasty bologna Lunchables, and then you're just like, ew, I'm just going to throw the bologna like a frisbee, and it became a food fight. So, I mean, it's got different points in nostalgia for me. Like, I used to love Lunchables. Like, I would get them for the kids when they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
now,
mean, one of our kiddos, like
he's an adult now.
and he still does it.
Like, he buys them because they're quick and easy for lunch for work, which is fine. To each their own.
I mean, he's also, as skinny as an elementary schooler.
Yeah. But now it's so not economical, because our kids eat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like our youngest, Bug, she can eat 3 of them and not blink an eye.
Yep.
Nathaniel, he could eat 2 or 3 of the big ones and not blink an eye.
Yep.
Matthias, let's just face it, he's like me and you. That boy can eat.
Yep.
And he could probably toss down 4 and be like, 20 minutes later, hey, do we have any snacks? Like, it makes no sense
Yeah.
because of how expensive they are.
Well, I mean, inflation's a thing.
Yeah, and we talked about that before.
Yeah.
But no, the other nostalgia stuff that I like is those old school games, those outdoor games you used to play.
Like Manhunt.
Manhunt,
Capture
Red
the
Rover.
Flag. I never played Red Rover.
Red Rover got pretty violent.
Yeah, that's the reason why we never played Red Rover, because we tried playing it once. One time only. And I clotheslined my sister when I got called. And then I got yelled at.
So we played Red Rover, and when you like fling, when you go, the person goes from one end to the other, whatever. We flung somebody so hard we broke his spine in 2 places.
Yeah, we
weren't allowed to play Red Rover anymore.
We didn't do that, but I did try to take my sister's head off with the clothesline, and I got yelled at. So
Lawn darts.
never played with those.
um,
But, like, for us, we used to play a lot of like 33, horse, just kind of like pick up games, like playing basketball, or we played football in the street. Back before, like, we got in a lot
we
of trouble.
played road hockey.
We played road hockey, but before we actually got hockey sticks and a ball, me and my brother got in trouble because we were playing with 2 sticks and a stone, with a couple sticks and a stone with my sister, and my brother went to go slap shot and sent the rock careening into my sister's shin, took a chunk out of her shin and it was bleeding.
Yeah.
And then like 2 days later, my dad comes home from work, and it's not road hockey, it's street hockey with a street hockey set. So like nets, balls, and hockey sticks. And he's like, here, so that way you don't do this again. We set up one net at the end of the T intersection for the street in the alleyway of where I used to live at, and we'd play street hockey. You know, we'd either do it, you know, with shoes on, or we strap our rollerblades on and we do it that way. But like when we moved out to the middle of nowhere, we used to play hide and go seek in the dark, capture the flag in the dark, manhunt in the dark. Like it was a lot of like, especially during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of outdoor like late night stuff, and it's because the area that we were in was real quiet. We didn't have a whole lot of noise, or you know, there wasn't a whole lot of people out there. So like I remember one game of manhunt lasted until like 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was only after my dad came down the stairs pissed off at us and gave that dad whistle, that high pitched whistle you can hear from like 3 streets over through a
and you knew your own dad's whistle.
Yep. And gave that whistle and was like, everybody needs to go the fuck home. And all of our parents, like the kids, all of our parents knew each other and talked with each other. And so like when one parent said something, especially to the group, it was as if, you know,
the rest of the parents,
on high. But yeah, I mean, it was.
So lawn darts. Do you remember?
I know what lawn darts are. Like I've seen them before.
Do you remember how they used to tell you about lava bombs, where you should always watch where it's gonna land before you move?
No, I don't know what lava bombs are.
Volcano, lava bombs.
Are you talking like an actual volcano?
Yes.
Okay. I grew up on the East Coast. We didn't have volcanoes.
Still learn about them.
We learn about them, yeah, but like they're dangerous and you don't want to be anywhere near them.
But
like
anyway,
you can stay as far like you have any. If you're near a volcano and it starts to go off, they don't tell you. The only thing that they taught us: get the fuck away. That's it.
No, but like lawn darts are a lot like lava bombs. You want to make sure that when you throw them up in the air to go towards the target, you know where they're going to land, so you have to watch them. And when it's full sun and you're throwing it up directly into the sunlight, you have a bunch of kids looking up trying to figure out where it's going to go.
Why would you throw a lawn dart straight up, though?
Because it was fun. You threw it straight up in the air and played dodge the dart.
That's like playing jackpot with a football. Like, that makes no sense at all.
We were dumb, and it was the 80s.
Anyways.
No parental monitoring. We did stupid shit.
Yeah.
But no, lawn darts, that's why they got banned, because too many kids got impaled by doing the same damn thing.
No.
Like, if they were used the proper way and had parental supervision and stuff like that, guarantee you they would still be on the market today, which is a scary thought.
Yeah.
Because some of these kids today be dumb. I mean, they're eating Tide Pods. Come the fuck on.
Yeah. Well, I think we can move. I do hate to do this to you, but we are going to move on to the next one.
That's kind of nostalgia too, but it's more of a homey type.
Yeah. So what is it?
Cooking.
Okay.
Like learning to make things at home that you normally wouldn't have at home. Like making your own wine, making your own beer, making your own sauces, canning vegetables, making bread. Which
I know.
I want a bread maker.
I know.
We go through too much fucking bread.
I know during COVID, like a lot of people were doing like make your own sourdough. Like sourdough stuff went off the charts during lockdown.
Amish friendship bread, that shit went off the fucking charts too.
Yeah. I don't know. Like learning how to cook when I was younger was pretty much just watching my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because my mom did not measure things. Like I tried asking her the other day for a recipe that I for something that I want.
You
that
put
I
enough
hadn't had.
seasonings in it till your ancestor goes, stop.
Well, no, like tuna wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Asked my mom how to make tuna wrap. She's like, well, you put you pinch of this in, a splash of that. It's like, no, like how do you? I don't measure things. Yeah. So like watching my mom.
She broke it down and told me how many cans and what to get.
Watching my mom cook or learning how to cook was literally watching my mom cook.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me something that I use even to this day when I cook. Season it how you want. Yeah, like a recipe could call for this. Say this. If you don't think that's enough, put a little bit extra in. If you think it's too much, don't put as much in.
Like even going by recipes in recipe books, yeah. I still change the seasonings that are in there because, let's face it, that chili would be way we burned our assholes.
Oh yeah.
And I love spicy food, but that shit, no, thank you.
Yep.
Had to cut down all the spicy powders by like half.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't know. For me, cooking is a big part of culture.
Nature versus nurture
like,
versus nature.
Where my ancestors and are from, and even my grandmother before she passed away, my nonna, she was from Italy.
Yeah.
So the Italians, they have a lot.
They're very
a lot
big
of their
on
culture
cooking.
is you all cook together as a family.
Mm-hmm.
You make stuff as a family. You do stuff as like that kind of stuff as a family. So like for me, helping my mom cook was fantastic. I loved doing it until I'd get under her feet and then she'd kick me out of the kitchen. Sometimes quite literally kick me in the ass and get the fuck out.
Like my mom used to sit me on the counter. And as long as I stayed...
Your mom was also a banquet chef.
A banquet chef for the military, yep.
Yeah, so like...
Even at home, in the tiny kitchens we had, she would sit me on the counter, and I'd watch her cook.
Yeah.
Now, not possible. We live across the country.
That and the last time that you guys were in the kitchen together, I think you ended up kicking her out.
Yep.
But, no, it's like... Cooking is always one of those things that it can bring people together. It can also drive people apart depending on diets. Like maybe this is an idea for an episode coming up, but like some of the Reddit stories that I've seen has been like, am I the asshole for using my roommate who's a vegan, her pans to cook my bacon and eggs in the morning? Or another one was, am I the asshole for having a separate reception from my daughter because she wanted to go a vegetarian option, or she wanted to have her reception completely vegetarian and vegan, which I know are two completely separate things. But I threw a reception that was going to have meat and alcohol and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that can cause a huge wedge in family and friends and whatnot if you don't respect how they want to make things. But at the same time, for a lot of people it does bring that sense of like, yeah, this is home. Yeah, this is something that brings peace and calmness to me, and which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I know you don't let me do it very often, but when I do cook, there are times where I'm just sitting there cooking and just humming to myself, and I'm just zoned out doing things on autopilot, or it seems like it's autopilot, but I'm at such peace that it's just quiet. Like I can be listening to music, I can be having a conversation, but like inside my head, it's just quiet
and calm.
Yeah. And that a lot of people are like that too. So, like, definitely happy about that.
Yeah. And that's what I love. Like, I love to cook, and I love to learn new things. And a couple of the things that I want that I don't have, I have promised myself that I won't be buying any more small appliances or things like that for the house.
Except you just said you wanted a bread maker.
I know. I want a bread maker. I want a pasta maker.
Well, pasta maker you can do with pizza cutter.
And I want a pizzelle maker.
Anyways,
So there's a couple of things that I want, and it's just like because I love the idea of bringing like things that your mom cooks into the house because we live across the country. Things that my mom used to make growing up when I was growing up
yeah.
into the house. You know, learning new recipes, doing new things, saving money because God in heaven,
Well,
things are getting expensive.
to an extent. Like the stuff that you buy from the store that is already like pre-made, yeah, it's going to be more expensive in the short term or in the long term because you're buying it more frequently versus stuff that you can make at home because you buy a bulk of the ingredients right off the bat and then you don't have to continue to go to the store after that.
Yeah, that's my point.
So
I would rather do like homemade pastas and homemade breads. Because let's face it, we go through a lot of breads
oh yeah,
and a lot of pastas
I'm not denying that.
here in this house. And when there are certain pastas and certain breads and stuff that are like, that they change their recipe and then it tastes really funky.
Yeah.
Like some of the breads that are at King Supers right now that we had to get because, well, they were out of everything else.
Yeah.
End up being like really freaking sweet. And it's like, it doesn't taste right. If I wanted a sweet bread, I'd get Hawaiian sweet rolls.
Oh yeah.
But if I want sandwich bread that I want to make a good ham and cheese sandwich on or a grilled cheese on, I'm not going to buy a sweet bread.
No.
And that's the thing is like, I want to be able to control the ingredients that go into our food. Have a cleaner eating habit. Because maybe, just maybe, if we start to watch the ingredients that we're putting into our bodies instead of buying all this processed crap all the time, maybe the both of us might lose weight. Like,
yeah.
I gained 10 pounds in 4 days
Yeah.
at that other location. Because all I did was sat and ate garbage.
Yeah.
Granted, one of those nights I brought my dinner to work and it was really yummy. It's steak and mushrooms and onions and yummy. But, like, the rest of the time I was eating chips, cornflakes, graham crackers with peanut butter, which peanut butter is a no-no for me. Migraine trigger.
Yeah.
And, like, I was eating garbage. Like, I cannot believe how much weight I gained in 4 days over there. And I get it back over to my work, and I looked at my boss. I was like, never again am I doing overnights at that place. Because all I did was sat and ate. I loved it over there because it was beautiful. It was peaceful. The people were great. Like, I got to know the workers. I got to know people individually. But my God, I cannot sit around for 12 hours getting up once an hour to do a quick 5-minute loop around and sit back down to watch cameras and eat.
Yeah.
It's like, holy garbage.
Well, I think we can call that one wrapped.
But there is one thing that we're going to make. Possibly, hopefully, if you can stay up late enough. After guests are gone tonight.
Okay.
Your beer.
We'll see.
Really?
We were supposed to do that earlier today.
Yeah, around 3 o'clock. I think I kind of fell asleep.
You did. Anyways, so this is where we would normally go ahead and call it because we talked about 3 different things. However, I don't feel like we've talked enough.
He's been thinking, people. Run!
So I'm going to ask you this.
No.
And
42.
We can start talking about it, and it's a little weird. It's a little out there. But it's me that we're talking about here.
I'm not into bestiality.
Do you know what a VTuber is?
No.
A VTuber is...
Do I care what a VTuber is?
Probably not. Anyways, what a VTuber is they're a streamer. You know, they get on Twitch or Kick or YouTube, wherever they
Yeah.
choose their platform to be. But instead of having a face camera where people can see who they are, what they're doing, kind of like Puffer and Grizzy and all that, they instead have an animated model of a person, of a creature, of something
How about if they wear a mask?
that take their place.
Kind of like the do.
The dude doesn't wear a mask all the time. Like when the dude does
I know, but he
like,
doesn't show from the shoulders up.
Omegle, he doesn't show from the shoulders up. It's only when he had to because of the guitars that he had. Then he put a mask on. But no, a VTuber is someone who has an animated model that they're talking and it looks like they're talking and they're
Like
making
Pokemon.
gestures. No, not Pokemon. No, I'm
No?
talking like Pren.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm talking like Shy Lily.
Okay.
You know, things like that. A lot of people who are critics of VTubers
They suck.
go ahead and say that these VTubers are cringe because, you know, they must be into something weird. They must be...
These
you know,
VTubers ain't diddling children, though.
But here's the thing about VTubing, and I only know this because I've actually looked into it myself. The amount of creativity, the amount of work that goes into these models, holy shit, it is a lot.
Yeah.
There are different levels of how you want to do things, okay?
Yeah.
There's the basic entry, what I call the entry level, right? Where you just have a PNG of your character, and it's on your stream, and whenever you talk, it lights up. Whenever you're not talking, it dims out. It's still there, but it's dim.
It's not that moving mouth.
Correct. You know,
Type deal.
you can hit a button to change like facial expressions. Like you have different ones that have like you have the same model, but like making different facial expressions and stuff like that. So that way, like if you're talking about something and you're really into it, you have like the excited one, or something that makes you mad. You have this angry one, or something like that. You have those basic ones. Then you have some that are partial, where their mouth moves, but nothing like that, and the head moves, but like hand gestures don't.
And it's not synced mouth movement.
Well, they try to have a synced mouth movement, but like expression wise is really hard to get across. Then you have some of these ones that are like Pren, who they have like as they're talking, the facial expressions are changing, and it's because it's matching, like it's capturing the face, and it pretty much like doing like motion capture.
It's like that AI
Yeah.
generator.
Well, no, it's like motion capture.
Yeah.
And then you have some like she was on Twitch and now she's on YouTube, but she's taking a break right now. Yannabelle's,
Okay.
who has like a 3D head to toe model where everything moves. And it's almost like walking around in a motion capture suit, right?
Like in those suits with the little balls on it.
Yeah, like Russian Badger's mocap suit.
Yeah.
You know. But the amount they have what's called rigging in the character itself, and it pretty much put bones in these different like bones, quote unquote, in these different pieces. Like the amount of rigging needs to be done for like a mouth to open and close, for eyes to open and close, for like blinking, for pupils to get bigger or, you know, dilate or undilate, you know, or like shit like that is holy shit. It is a lot. But it's just like, Jesus, like I don't understand how these people can go ahead and say that these VTubers are cringe. I don't get it, because the amount of hard work that goes into it, like
those people that say get a real job.
like how can you say something that takes that much dedication and whatnot is cringe? How can you go ahead and you say that? How can you disrespect somebody's work? How can you disrespect somebody's work to go ahead and say, well, what you're doing ain't shit? I don't get that. And the amount of creativity that goes along with it is like they have to think about how this character is. They have to think about how what a backstory is for said character. They have to go ahead and what's the story? Why is this person here? Why do they look the way that they do? And then they gotta either draw it themselves or get somebody to draw it for them, and then rig it and all of that. And it's just like, are you like, people sit there and they're like, oh, that's cringe, all you do is you sit there and you don't really do a whole lot, and, yada 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 yada. How
you
the
play
fuck,
video games for a living?
how
That's
the
not a
fuck can you go
job.
ahead and say all this shit?
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. And it's just like these people are building their job, and you're just gonna sit there and discredit them because you don't like what they're doing, or you don't understand what they're doing, or you don't agree with it. Like, really? Like, oh my god, I can't believe
Just because it's not something that you would do doesn't mean you
like,
should degrade people for it.
well, and like the biggest issue that I have with it is like some of these people are, I will fully admit, they're what they themselves call lewd tubers. Like,
Yeah.
they're not putting out naked stuff. They're not, they're not like doing shit like
Yeah.
that. But they're being highly suggestive,
Yeah.
right? And then there are some that are just like, no, this is family friendly. This is geared more
Very
for,
PG.
this is geared more for like everybody can watch it. But these critics will go ahead and lump everybody in to the same group and say, like, how can you watch this? How can you show your children this when they're this is going on?
Very
Okay,
easily.
let me ask you let me put it this way then. How can you allow somebody to watch a movie with an actor who's been in an R-rated movie where there has been nudity?
Or my personal favorite, how are you going to degrade somebody that's doing the VTubing work or whatnot when you sit there and let your children run amok and drink all the time and do all kinds of illicit drugs and they go shoot up their schools? How about that?
Well, like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I
I
think-
happen to think that people should just keep their nose in their own fucking lane
Well,
and let people do the job that they want to do.
My biggest thing for that is like the family friendly ones, the ones that are PG or G rated, whatnot. Yeah, those ones are more directed for children, and that's great. Let them do their own thing. The ones that are for like 18 or older,
Ones that have those warnings on there.
yeah, like leave them alone. Like let them be in their own little separate thing. We have kids cartoons.
Yeah.
And then we have adult cartoons or
Yeah.
more adult-oriented cartoons.
Yeah.
Like My Little Pony, kids cartoon. Boondocks,
Not a
adult
kid cartoon. Simpsons, not a kid's cartoon.
Family Guy,
Not a
not
kid's
a kid's
cartoon.
But then you have like Codename Kids Next Door or Teen Titans Go. Fucking bullshit. Kids show.
Yeah.
Like, how about we leave people...
Blue's Clues. Everybody.
Well, Blue's Clues isn't animated. It's not a cartoon. So, well, it's not fully cartoon.
Yeah.
It's live action. But, like, how about we let people do their own thing? And how about we let them make their own money in their own way?
I got an idea. How about instead of getting pissed off that your husband is watching a VTuber and you cracking down on that VTuber, why don't you ask your husband why he's watching a VTuber?
Yeah. Like you've asked me why I watch Pren.
I'm like, why do you watch Pren? She's funny. She's cool.
Her community is very accepting.
And that's the thing.
Like
is
I figured out something about myself for the first that I had never thought about until here recently, and I made a realization about myself. And I'm 5 years old, and I made this realization, and I was hesitant on telling you. I was hesitant on telling our daughter. And so when I finally was ready to be like, you know what? Let's go ahead and I'm going to tell. I'm going to let this out. Went ahead and mentioned to this, I mentioned in Twitch chat, thanks to all of this and all of these people who are supporting.
Yeah.
That this is the realization that I came to, and there was an outpouring
of support.
Yeah, and they're like, congratulations, thank you, good for you, shit like that, and it's just like, holy fuck.
My reaction. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want for dinner?
Yeah. But some of these VTubers that are out there, a lot of them actually, I want to say almost all of them, are so they understand the shit that would normally get shunted away or looked at as what do you mean? The unspoken stuff, mental illnesses, mental health. They are very much no, this is a safe spot. I do not accept anybody being toxic. I do not accept people making fun of or bullying other people. And if I find out you're doing it in my chat, you're fucking gone. They crack down on that kind of stuff. They are very open and whatnot. In a world where we're slowly shifting to that point, yes, but we're also being hampered by what has been versus what it should be. And we still haven't gotten over that threshold of it's okay to, there's more support in what it should be versus what it has been. We're getting to that point. We're getting to that tipping point of old school versus new school. Which is great. But, it's just one of those things where you just gotta, it comes down to you gotta love each other. And you have to support those that otherwise wouldn't have the support because friends, family, relatives, whatever, have decided it's not worth it. This is too weird. I don't understand, so I'm not going to. I'm not even going to try. Show support. You see somebody going through some hard times, talk with them. You never know how much a conversation will help. So
sweet.
Anyways, I think we're gonna call it there.
Yeah.
So thank y'all for listening. We really do appreciate it. If you would like to show your support, we have a link in the description. So that way you can, if you want to support us, that would be fantastic. We're not telling you to. Saying if you want to and you want to hear more of us, click that link in the description down below. If you're listening to us on Spotify, download it on Spotify. Really show Spotify that you want to hear more of what we have to say, and show that hey, we really like what you're doing. Keep it up and keep up the good work. But as always, don't forget to love each other.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. And have a great rest of your night. Bye, guys.
Bye.